SCENTSY is a multi-level marketing pyramid scheme, and I've made a video that seems to be resonating with a lot of SCENTSY participants. And I just want to say thank you so much for having the courage to watch my content. I know it takes a lot when you're in a multi-level marketing company to view anybody that is criticizing your company. I used to be in multi-level marketing. I felt the exact same way. I'm not going to do a feel, felt, found. And it's just strange when you start to ask yourself, why am I having such a visceral reaction to somebody pointing out what I know to be true? And yet I'm experiencing this internal tug of war where I want to say, you're a hater. There's something wrong with you for pointing out something I see is a reality. I'm uncomfortable with that. Why am I unable to think clearly? I was sent this video by 2 people, at least. There might be more. I had messages coming in the last few days. Sometimes I see them on Instagram and sometimes I don't. I don't know why they disappear. I don't have like disappearing messages sent on, but I don't know what it is. Anyway, I thought, oh, I better take a look at this. So this is going to be a blind reaction. And I believe this is somebody who is at the top of the SCENTSY pyramid scheme. And I don't know if the person knows, if they're complicit, if they have made that, that decision to, I know this is hurting people. I know I need to uphold the lie that is this multi-level marketing fraud. Or if it's like, they don't know, they're still bought into it. They're still brainwashed. And when SCENTSY falls, or when their paycheck dips below a certain level, and then they go to another MLM, there's going to be a point in all of our lives, and in their lives too, where they have to face the reality of what they're a part of. When you have one person in your downline that says they have experienced abuse, emotional abuse, psychological abuse, they have spent so much money, one person should be enough to get through to you. When you have to discount somebody's coming to you, telling you they've been abused, and you ignore them to encourage other people in your downline to pump money into a dying multi-level marketing company, it's fucking pathetic, and the behavior needs to be called out. I hope this individual wakes up, and I hope they get out, and I hope they can move on with their lives. But what's going on right now, when you're at the top of a pyramid scheme, there's a very high probability that they know what they're doing. They have seen the churn rate. So I want to, revisit this with this SCENTSY video, because it's clearly struck a nerve. I've seen scrolling through YouTube, there's been so many videos of SCENTSY participants just like having their opinion. And it's so good to see. I haven't watched any of them. I've been going through. It's not true. I've watched one video. I watched 2 videos from one person. The other ones, I'm just like, it's just good to see whatever their opinion is. It's just so good to see the freedom of expression of people that were in this multi-level marketing company going out onto the internet, and I've never seen so many participants in a multi-level marketing company do this. Yes, I'm going to get to the point, and yes, I'm going to start doing this reaction, but my intent, intent is the word of the day. Ding, ding. My goal for this video and the way I create content is to help participants in multi-level marketing deprogram. It's not just to, okay, this is why this is a pyramid scheme, this is multi-level marketing. I integrate the assholery mindfuckery of being in an MLM, but using that, being on the outside, to help pierce through the veil of bullshit that we experience in MLM. It can be a different language. It's one of my fortes. So that's what I maximize my potential in making content like this. If it kind of doesn't make sense to you, I understand. There are so many other fantastic anti-MLM content creators here on YouTube. Definitely go check out them. Everybody has a unique perspective and a style of making content, and it's all helpful. So if you're still with me, get some coffee. Maybe you want to microwave it. Yeah, it's that lady on the internet talking about my multi-level marketing company. Why do I keep circling back and hopping on? There's something in it that I just find entertaining, and there's like granules of truth that I can't look away from. This is the video. I've put it on 1.25 speed too. I might speed it up.
All right, so welcome to Mindset Monday. I am Jacqueline Roy. I'm your superstar director, or one of them, because you may have a bunch of amazing superstar directors that are on tonight. But somewhere down the line, you are in my organization, and we put this training on every Monday The first couple Mondays of the month, the last Monday, it's just exclusive to my leaders.
On Mindset Mondays, is there ever a financial Friday where you teach people to track their income and their expenses? Has there ever been a training that you've taught your downline in the years that you've been a superstar director, or any rank thereof in the hierarchical structure that is SCENTSY, the SCENTSY pyramid scheme, where you said, hey, everyone, I'd like you to track your expenses because this is a business. If you're going to operate as a business, then you need to treat it like a business. I wonder if there has ever been a training in all these years. I know the answer to this, and so do you.
That I have in my group. But I'm so excited you guys chose to be on tonight. Tonight's a big, let me mute a couple people real quick. Let's see, mute.
It's like muting everybody in her downline that is like, this is a pyramid scheme, I'm out. Or put them on a list. I'm going to be sending the flying monkeys after you next. Block them all. They're demon haters. They're vibrating at a low frequency. How dare they calculated their expenses?
Okay, hopefully that I will try to stay on top of it. Okay, so we have a lot of things to talk about. I'm sure that you guys have seen some of the changes that are rolling out in March. If you're a part of any of the Whipbox, Negative, Nelly, Anti-MLM Facebook page, hopefully you're off of it by now because that page is just a bunch of crap.
Oh, Negative, Nelly, Anti-MLM. So this is people speaking out against abuse. So what do you have to say about women who have been abused? Let's just get you on the record here. Jacqueline. So people that have been abused in a multi-level marketing company, and they're seeking people they're seeking community. They don't want to be gaslit. They don't want to be harassed and intimidated. What do you have to say to those victims? Oh, you're just a Negative Nelly? Class act right from the start here. So I think it's important for everyone to know whether you're like going to be classified, name called as a Negative Nelly or whatever, any kind of terminology. What you know the definition of a pyramid scheme is. So in the United States, you can kind of fall back on the Koscot pyramid scheme test. It's very easy. There's 2 components to it, and I encourage you to look it up. Maybe you might want to include that in your next Mindset Monday training, or perhaps start a Financial Friday training every Friday at noon, let's just say at noon Eastern time. And what you could say is, well, a pyramid scheme, according to the Koscot pyramid scheme test, is when a participant has to pay a company, 1, for the right to sell a product, and 2, the right to receive in return for recruiting others into the program rewards which are unrelated to the sale of products to ultimate users. In Canada, it's quite similar. They call it the scheme of pyramid selling. And for your reference, you can look up Canada's Competition Act, Section 55.1. And in order to be designated a scheme of pyramid selling, an MLM plan has to meet one of 4 of the following requirements. And it's really easy to see that SCENTSY fulfills the first 2. I mean, you could probably factor in inventory loading as well. It's going on like unbeknownst to most participants. You can also look at John M. Taylor's Appendix 7E, MLM Profit and Loss Rates versus Various Income Options, published on the FTC website. This thing is iconic. It describes you're going to make more money gambling roulette at Caesar's Palace in Vegas than you will in a typical product-based pyramid scheme like SCENTSY. So there's some resources for you if you do want to do some more of your own research and actually start critically thinking instead of being told, avoid anything that is being given to you as additional information to maybe stop you spending so much money because it's going to bump up my paycheck. We're just going to discount it as like, get off those pages. I need to control your behavior. I am not going to encourage you to seek out contradictory information because I am so pathetic and weak as a leader that I need to scare you away from taking in contradictory information. That's how we do business at SCENTSY. Feel free to check out my description for a whole schwack load of links that you can do your own research and you can come to your own informed conclusion. Let's get back to the video.
But before we get to that, I just wanted to go over, I just got back from leadership. I see a bunch of faces, partially tan faces, Delinda and Kathy, and a bunch of people that were on with us. But we just got back from leadership in Mexico, in Cancun. So we got to talk directly with Orville and Heidi. We got to talk to a bunch of incredible corporate people about all the change.
This is supposed to mean something. Who are these people nobody knows and nobody cares outside of SCENTSY? They're just a bunch of nobodies. Who's Orville? Is he related to Redenbacher?
and just kind of the future of SCENTSY. And so I'm excited to share that stuff with you. And I'm glad some of you guys that were there are on as well, because I may call on you to add some stuff as you see fit as we go along the call. So first off, I want to say that
I've made a huge mistake and I'm going to resign, and I'm so sorry. I finally am waking up and I can no longer contribute to being part of this toxic and predatory system. You can do that at any time. Respectfully, please stop scamming people. It doesn't make any sense that criticism against a practice, something that is called a business model, where people, more and more women are coming forward with documented examples of abuse. It's no longer enough just to turn a blind eye and to say you're negative, you're a hater. Your behavior is a joke. It doesn't take much for anybody to go on the internet and find some egregious behavior from somebody in a multi-level marketing company. And because you're making a lot of money, because you're at the top, it doesn't make it okay. It doesn't make it legitimate. I just posted a reel today on Instagram, and I posted it as a short here on YouTube, where it's like, oh, let me guess, your MLM isn't a pyramid scheme because you know a guy who made a lot of money. Your MLM isn't a pyramid scheme because you know somebody who's at the top of one. Because you know somebody who has made a lot of money in a scam isn't one of the requirements that fulfills the definition of a pyramid scheme, according to Canada's Competition Act, Section 55.1, nor the Koscot pyramid scheme test in the United States. But tune in this Friday at noon Eastern time for Financial Friday, where you're going to learn how to finally track those SCENTSY expenses.
Orville and Heidi spoke.
I wonder if she's one of the ones that came over and gave a thumbs down to my video. I'm not giving your video a thumbs down. You have freedom of expression.
Sit at their table too on the last night and chat just with them. And the future of SCENTSY is bright. The future of SCENTSY is amazing. SCENTSY as a whole, and this is just good business wise. You guys need to know this stuff because there's a lot of false stuff floating out there. With direct sales companies shutting down left and right.
What's the false stuff? Have you ever given the correct definition of a scheme of pyramid selling? Does anybody in your downline know the origins of SCENTSY and where it came from, tracing it all the way back to Amway? Because the only reason SCENTSY is in existence is because Amway is in existence. That's not false stuff floating around. That's history. That's history of the direct selling industry or direct sales channel.
Those companies aren't comparable to SCENTSY. They're nothing like SCENTSY. And so I think it's good for you guys to have the facts and the bones of really how SCENTSY's doing as a whole. And SCENTSY's doing good, right? We are a problem.
Not according to Dan Orchard. He seemed to be pretty perturbed about what was going on. So this is what happens. You go to a leadership, these people that are at the top of these various pyramid schemes, which it's exactly the same as every MLM. It doesn't matter. They're just interchangeable. Superstar director, superstar. In Monade, it's senior executive director. The names are just ridiculous. There's a lot of companies where they have like ruby, diamond, all the gemstones. Then they come back and then they indoctrinate their downline. It's okay. I need to reassure you, our company is unlike any other. The future is bright. Don't look anywhere else, because if you dare to critically think, that is going to actually sabotage your business. You must maintain 100% faith and belief and blind obedience and compliance. And that is the only way to succeed. It's like you're selling fucking wax melts and warmers and moisture medley. I mean, I can see why people stay for moisture medley, but I'm getting off track. All right.
Profitable company. We're still making money each month. And that's just from home office, from corporate. I don't know if you're making.
But your downline isn't making money, are they?
Money each month, because I don't know if you're selling, but I'm just talking in.
No, they're not making much money at all, because the vast majority of participants can't. Because that's the design of the scam. And the other iteration of this scam, another component of this scam, are people who believe that they are signing up for a discount, thinking that they're saving money, and justifying their participation in this scam by saying, I would have spent so much more money had I not signed up for the discount. That's the lie. That's one of the many lies. It's a tactic used to get you in to spend more money. The reality is that you wouldn't have spent anywhere near as much money if you had have remained a customer. You were lured in. They got you. And you're just starting to figure it out now. Why should you have to sign up for a business opportunity that you don't want to work as a business? But then you can say, well, I'm just saving so much money as a customer. You're not a customer then. You can't have it both ways. If there's not an option to be a customer, the only option to be a customer is to be a distributor. There is no outside actual retail demand or market for SCENTSY products. The only way they can sell their products is by manipulating, luring, deceiving people in to signing up for a business opportunity, and whether they work that business or not is irrelevant. That is the only way they can create a customer base. And most of those people have never tracked their expenses. They're shocked when they do. And they feel like they can't live without the products. Another red flag that you're in a cult. It's like the mass awakening in SCENTSY is continuing. It's really good to see.
In general,
We got damage control from the top of the pyramid. Damage control from the top of the pyramid scheme. Jacqueline, we got to get you on tonight. Okay, got it. Delta Force coming in.
SCENTSY is a profitable company. We are not in the red or anything like that. SCENTSY has very, very little debt, and they call that chosen debt. All right. SCENTSY has so many liquid assets, and they have a big cash flow that at any time, if they needed to pay off that chosen debt tomorrow, they could do that. And I tell you that because
trust me, just trust me. I don't have any. The reason why you need to, I'm not an actual spokesperson for SCENTSY. I'm not even somebody in the corporate structure of SCENTSY. I'm somebody in the pyramid scheme. I'm at the top of the pyramid scheme. I'm a superstar director. So I'm just going to tell you that you need to stay here because, you know, they have chosen debt. Oh my God. You can't get away with this shit anymore. The world is watching. And this damage control knee-jerk reaction to the flood of participants leaving SCENTSY, it's just not sufficient. Once a seed has been planted in someone's mind, they want to be free. They're going to be fighting against their own like human need to question and to grow and to become a better version of themselves outside of the strict control of a multi-level marketing company. It's fun to explore. It's fun to ask questions. When you're in an MLM, it's constricted. It's ordained. You're unable to be your authentic self. If you're exploring, if you're like, don't you dare put your toe in that dirty pool of an anti-MLM page. You better get off that. Why in the fuck is a woman telling you what you can and can't do? For wax melts? What is it, her business, what you do, what information you take in? It's important because she needs you to stay in the downline to keep making sales, making purchases. Your purchases are translated to sales for the company. They're categorized as sales for the company. And that money flows up to her. This has nothing to do with your benefit. This has everything to do with maintaining her spot in the top of this pyramid scheme. And more people are going to be leaving, and it's going to be great to see.
Because as a whole, we're a very healthy company. Now, with that being said, we want to continue to be a healthy company. You know, like I said a while ago, you see other companies, we can name a bunch. I mean, 31, Rodan and Fields, and all these kind of companies either shutting their doors or going affiliate. And a lot of those companies either didn't make the changes when they needed to.
Oh, is that right? Didn't make the changes when they needed to. Do you think she has any fucking clue what she's talking about? I mean, you have a CEO like Carl of Beachbody has been around for so long, and he's saying the multi-level marketing model, it's like dying, it's outdated. And then you have somebody that doesn't own a company, doesn't actually even own their own business, can be terminated at any time, might get offered a bridge contract and go start up with the Happy Juice company. She doesn't actually own her own business. Even though you might have signed up for the business opportunity, you don't own your own business either. But she knows more than the CEO of 31 Gifts and the CEO of Body and the CEO of Saint and the CEO of Rodan and Fields. It doesn't take much. Once you start seeing through this, it's really easy to pick apart. And it's important to do that because people are being coerced to spend money and time that they don't have and they can't get back. Time anyway. Money you can get back, but some people are still in debt from various companies they've been a part of years ago. It's not okay.
Or maybe they had a bunch of investors that controlled the company. So when there was any type of dip downward, they panicked and the investors sold or wanted to get out, right? The beauty of SCENTSY is Orville and Heidi are the only two shareholders. They own the entire company. They have no investors.
Oh my God, you got this cast of characters with this company. You got Orville Redenbacher and you got Upchuck, and then you've got Dan.
Investors. They really don't have any debt other than that chosen debt I told you about.
They only have chosen debt. So this is double speak. Who talks like this? We don't have debt at SCENTSY. We have chosen debt. Sure you do. Can you imagine going into like an actual business presentation and you're like, this company is really good. We have just chosen. Oh no, we don't have debt. No. On my financial statement. Oh no, that's chosen debt. Oh, we chose to go into debt, but that doesn't actually count as debt. The lie is right out there for everyone to see. It is really that easy. And once you start seeing it, you'll be like, oh my God, how did I not see this before? I know, you're not alone. So many of us go through this process.
Huge amount of cash flow. And the changes they're making now are so we will be a company for years and years to come. It is truly a family-owned company that they want you guys to be able to build up and pass on. But with that being said, you can't always run the business now like we did 17 years ago when I first started. Things cost more.
17 years ago, this person got in. Oh, that's very interesting to know. All right.
Supplies cost more. Employees cost more to hire. Shipping costs more. So if you want a company that's going to sustain and be around long term, you're going to have to make changes along the way. I call these healthy changes. They're not scary changes.
It's just like chosen debt. They're healthy changes. I also like to call it like women getting abused. It's like healthy challenges. It's made you stronger, hasn't it? Healthy changes and chosen debt. This gets better and better. Wow. I can see why people sent me this video. 2 people anyway. For me, 2 people is enough. That's indicative that there's a lot more people that are like, oh, I got to see this video.
They're not dire need changes. They're healthy changes that a company that is looking out for your best interest has to make to be around for a really long time. So I'm going to go over those changes. I'm going to go over each section. I'm going to go over why we're doing those, why SCENTSY's doing those changes. But I did want
I'm just curious, what's the definition of a pyramid scheme according to SCENTSY? Oh, I also have another question. Are we going to ever get encouraged to track our expenses? If our expenses are way more than our income, would you recommend me continuing to sink money into this business that I think is a business? Or would you suggest I leave because it's probably not making any money? It's not a sound business decision.
I want to give that backdrop because I know a lot of people tend to freak out like, oh my gosh, what is going on with SCENTSY? Oh my gosh, it is.
Yeah, shame the people in the downline that they're not freaking out. They're actually critically thinking and they're seeing through the nonsense. They're seeing through the lackluster presentation of the CEO, Dan, trying to reassure everyone, infantilize the majority of the participants, which are women, with his numbers presentation, which doesn't mean anything. He just talks himself in circles. SCENTSY is circling the drain. Oh, I'm gonna shame you. I'm gonna mock you. You know. Oh, everybody's freaking out over these changes. No, they're not. They're not freaking out. They're actually being like, this isn't a good decision for me. I'm going to leave. I love the products. I am going to continue to purchase the products as I deprogram and realize what I'm saying does not make any sense. And I'm going to realize I can actually live my life without a product from a multi-level marketing company.
You guys were fine. We're fine. But, you know, we're obviously.
She's not fine. The damage control these people are trying to do for this company is telling. They're just like running out. When you have to make so much apology for the changes and try to reassure your downline, things are not well. Wow. This is going to be a long video too.
During COVID, during 2020, sales were like, woo, right? So since he beefed up employment, they beefed up their warehouses, they beefed up everything to support our incredible sales. During that time, people, all they did were sit behind their computer at home or sit behind their iPad because we were on lockdown, and they spent money and they spent money. And it's just not like that right now, which is okay. You know, since he's kind of in a thing, kind of in a, like this, we're not growing a bunch, we're not going downhill. We're kind of just like this, right? So why we're like this and we're not just soaring like 2020, since he's making these healthy changes again, so we can be around for a really long time. So let's get to these changes.
I have a clip from a guy in World Ventures that is talking about how it's going to be generational, a legacy that's going to be passed for the years and years to come, and what happened with World Ventures. Bankrupt 2020. Oh, I'm so happy I have that video clip. That's going to be coming up. You're going to be able to see that.
Just I want to explain each thing just because I think that it'll make sense. Now, one thing that SCENTSY, I'm sure you guys seen, they're shutting down their Copel warehouse. It's on the news tab. The Copel warehouse, and a lot of that came into fruition after COVID, when we needed to beef up our warehouses. We needed a lot more shipping areas. I mean, we could barely keep up.
This is the difference between a legitimate business and a fraud, because multi-level marketing is fraud. Is that a legitimate business would put out a press statement? This would be it. Everybody would know. It wouldn't have to be, you have to go to a secret location where in Cancun, and only the people at the top of a pyramid scheme are given this information. And then they in turn are encouraged to go out and make content and to make excuses on behalf of the company. This isn't how real businesses work. This is such a joke. Wow, SCENTSY is in so much trouble. I would not have come back and made another SCENTSY video. It's just been from so many people in the comments, just they're leaving. People are asking questions and they feel safe to ask questions, and they're working things through. They're like, you know what? 5 years and I've woken up, and I know what that means. It's just like, now it's the process of realizing every single thing that you've been taught. There's this twist to it. The manipulation and coercion is baked in to all of the personal development. And it's so hard now when you leave and you encounter these same, leadership concepts. They've taken it and they've stained it. And it's a whole process now of, healing from that.
Up with demand. And now that COVID's over, we don't need 3 warehouses in the US. We still have our Idaho and we still have our South Carolina. And we're not shutting down Copel because we're in dire need or death.
So the spin on this is like, well, it's because we don't need the spin on closing a warehouse. You're closing a warehouse? SCENTSY is closing a warehouse? Wow. So it's not because the business is tanking and you have decreased sales, because to me, it would make, as a common sense critical thinker, if you had increased demand and the future was so bright for SCENTSY that people were just clamoring to sign up, it would make sense. It would make sense. Oh my God, the pun. I'm not even going to go there. To have another warehouse to fulfill the orders that people are making. When you need to close down a warehouse, that means the customer demand isn't there anymore. You could talk about COVID from 5 years ago. But what's going on is that when you close a warehouse, that means that warehouse is no longer needed. That means there is less consumer demand for those products, which there is hardly any consumer demand for multi-level marketing products. I know this is going to get through to somebody. I know it's going to help at least one person. That's all I do. Each video, I'm like, it's going to land with one person. I've been really lucky that it lands with more than one person. But if it lands with one person, I'm happy. And it might not be right away. It could be, 2 years from now. I know it's going to help someone.
Aspiration. It's because we don't need that 3rd warehouse right now. Now, that's not to say that we're going to go kick butt in 2025 and 2026 and force SCENTSY to expand the 2 warehouses that they have now. That doesn't mean that, but we're just staying healthy by staying on top of it. Another couple things that are happening. Region 1, and this is all kind of, I mean, you can share with your customers, kind of up to you. I'm not till March, but car bars and travel twist are going away globally. All right. They just didn't sell well.
We knew that. Dan said that. But Moisture Medley's here to stay. Thank God.
So let's get our catalog back to a simplistic form where the things that are in there are the things that sell well. So those things are going away. In region 2 and 3, the body line is going away. That was
I remember this too. It was because it was actually pulling down the brand of SCENTSY. We know all this.
2% of all the sales for region 2 and 3 was body line. So a very, very small portion. And again, we're kind of a sailbait. We're a sailboat cruising in the ocean, right? And we're cruising along and we're throwing off the dead weight that just isn't doing anything good for us, right? It's not bringing us a lot of sales. It's not bringing us a lot of recruits. It's not bringing us a lot of
recruits,
a lot of extra income. So we're getting rid of the dead weight. It's a good change. It's a healthy change, guys. I hope that's something that'll stick with you. All right. So 250 is the magic number. 250, 250, 250. So from now on, for less is best. Yes, Denise. From now on, to qualify for a party order, you need a minimum of 250 PRV to qualify for host rewards. Now, I wanted to share a little story with you. When I first joined.
Is this going to be about chosen debt and healthy challenges? Oh, 17 years ago when I joined, and I was one of the first people in my area, and I'm at the less than a fraction of a percent of the top of people at this pyramid scheme. We're talking about such a tiny little percentage of people in the body line in region 2 and 3 where they had 2 to 3%, and they got to get rid of that dead weight. But somehow the infinitesimal percentage rate of where you're located on at the top of this pyramid scheme somehow goes right over your fucking head. I got to tell you something, you guys. Don't pay attention to reality. I'm going to tell you a story now. Now it's time for some manipulation. Let's see.
We had to do 150 PRV for a party order.
I had it so much harder than you. Oh my God. If you've been in multi-level marketing, you probably have come across people that have said, when we had it, we couldn't even do live videos. We didn't even have the internet. We had to go door to door. You have no excuses nowadays. It's always whoever's at the top, they need to justify their position that they worked harder than you. You actually have it easier. An increase, it doesn't matter what the cost of a candy bar was in 1977. The price of a candy bar today, if you can't afford it, you can't afford it. Somebody telling you that back in the day, they wouldn't have made an excuse. This was the rate that they paid for a candy bar. This is the price. And so they did. It's just them trying to manipulate you to get you to spend money because they're going to be benefiting from it. So keep in mind, everything she is saying, she is going to financially benefit from. Everything I am saying, I'm not financially benefiting from. I have no course to sell. I don't ask you to like my video. I don't ask you to even to subscribe. I don't monetize any of my content. People that do these things, that's fine. I support every anti-MLM content creator. But I'm that one where it's like, okay, how are you going to explain this now? It's just going to be fueled by what? Hatred, jealousy, vibrating at a low frequency. You're a demon. I'm actually a demon. That's going to be the rationale? To avoid teaching your downline to do the most basic business skill, which is track their expenses. Maybe look up the definition of a pyramid scheme. You can't run away from the truth forever.
And you needed 150 PRV to be active. That was the magic number. That was back in 2007. Do I want to go back to 2007? I do not. Was that a good change? It was. So they changed that. And in 2011, they changed it to 200 PRV. So when I first joined, we had to do 150 in sales to get host rewards. And in 2011, when they introduced it,
if people can't, an increase it doesn't matter if it increased when you joined in 2007 and 4 years later, then they upped it again. It's just meant to manipulate her downline into staying and to stay the course and to just keep paying money into it. It's not that bad. It is that bad. People can't afford it. And it's not sufficient for this weak story as if it's like, well, I paid it and that means that you should just ignore your expenses, which I have never trained you to track. And this is just another expense that I want you to ignore. Because just think, back in the day, I signed up with 150 PRV or whatever, and then it went up to 200 PRV, and it's okay. I don't care. It's totally fine. It's a healthy challenge. It's just chosen debt. You know, instead of tracking your expenses, just choose the debt, the same as SCENTSY does. Just goes away that way. Cannot make this shit
they were
up.
jumping to 200 All it did
Unbelievable.
was increase my sales. It increased my team wholesale volume. It really didn't hurt my business. My customers.
Bullshit. It didn't hurt your business. What in the gaslighting moisture medley is this? The good people in SCENTSY that love their wax warmers. They love the community. They love their stuff. They love their warmers. Like they love the Disney figurines. They love all of it. And they are not able to recruit people. They're not able to get any customers. And they're like, well, it didn't hurt my business. Again, this is all about the upline. I don't care. If you have a problem, well, there's something wrong with you. This is why your business is eroding at a rapid pace. It's the cliff. The waves are coming down. It's just undercutting, and it's going to crash into the ocean. It just disappear. You're probably going to come over here and give this video a thumbs down too.
Had no clue, because I tell them what they need to sell to earn the free and half price items. And I will say, it being in SCENTSY for 17 years, we have some of the least requirements to get free and half price items. A lot of the companies.
You're not getting a free and half priced item if you have to pay for it. Do you understand that? This is a deceptive tactic. If you need to pay or do something or trade your time or host a party or do anything in exchange for something, an exchange has occurred. Ergo, it's not free. Free is if you're walking down the street and you like see a dime and you pick it up. You're like, you got that for free. It just came out of nowhere. It was just there for you to pick up. Having free or discounted things and having to work and to spend money and to encourage other people to do that isn't getting a free thing.
I hosted for where you have to sell 400 to get anything for your half price. You have to sell 500 to get anything for your half price. So
what are these companies? Give the examples. So this is just, again, that fear mongering. It's so different here. We're unlike any other multi-level marketing company. It's very important for you to pick this apart and hold your upline to account. What are these mythical companies selling wax warmers and wax melts that if you have to do so much more in order to get it for free? You're not getting it for free, first off. This is the double speak in this company is nuts.
250 is not much, you guys. That's 2 6-pack more. It's not much.
Wow, totally insulting and gaslighting her downline. Well done. Well, she'd do well in an AGIC. It's not that much. People that are struggling to make ends meet. People that have purchased SCENTSY for years. People that have sat down, more and more people, and they're actually calculating how much they've spent over the years. And they're like, it's not worth it. This is wasteful. The amount of waste I'm contributing, the footprint I'm leaving on this planet of waste, of just buying these melts that there's no way I could even burn through them in my lifetime. I'm like, all day, that's all I'm doing all day. It's like this ritual. It's just like taking over your life. You have to spend so much money. Like, I can't afford it and I don't want to. It's like, it's not that much. It is that much. People cannot afford to put food on the table. Do you know that there's Canadians, for example, that are just skipping meals? This is common now. They're eating 2 meals a day because they can't afford the third meal. And they're sacrificing that meal in order they can feed their kids. And then you have an absolutely clueless person at the top of a multi-level marketing pyramid scheme that requires the majority of people to lose money, to believe that the failure is their fault, telling you that no, it's actually not that much money. Well, this is why people are leaving. I mean, this is so much of a no-brainer. It's so off-putting, even if you're in SCENTSY and you love, your community, your upline, you respect them. Even that, you're like, I actually can't afford it. It doesn't matter how much you try to shame me into thinking that it's not. I just don't have the money anymore. This is nuts.
TRV. It is really, really not much. Again, when I first joined, it was 150. Then it was 200. Now it's 250. That's the magical number. Now there's going to be 4 different tiers to host rewards. It's going to be 250, 400, which that's where free shipping kicks in. So that's kind of a perk. That's less than it was before.
I also wanted to mention this too, is that regardless of what these people inside a pyramid scheme tell their downline, which is an eroding downline. It's going, these people that were in there that maybe they had their loyalty are insulted, they're gaslit, and some have been psychologically and emotionally abused. They're leaving. So they're trying to show up as this strength. Now, if you're in SCENTSY and you're still watching this video, thank you very much. I'm going to give you something else to think about. You're in a closed system. Your whole world is this company. You really, really love the products, but you don't realize that it's like you're a piece of sand on a beach. There are all these other multi-level marketing companies out there that think just like you do, some that are much larger. And then outside of that, there's the rest of the world that don't want anything to do with multi-level marketing. And so people looking at a video like this posted publicly on YouTube, telling you don't look at anti-MLM content, it's like, oh my God, this is one of those MLM cults. This is yet another example. So it's backfiring in multiple ways. It's backfiring on the participants who can't afford the products and who love the products, but they just can't afford it, and they're being insulted that it's really not that much money to be spending. And it's also repelling any possible new recruits and actually sabotaging her own business by putting out a video like this, very clearly demonstrating the behavior, information, thought, and emotional control that is going on with SCENTSY. If you're in SCENTSY, it doesn't matter if you like anti-MLM content or not. It's your customers that are watching it. It's your potential recruits that are also watching it. And they're educating themselves. And they're like, I don't want any part of this. I can see the damage that it's done. One story of abuse is enough for me not to purchase from your company. I don't care how nice those wax melts smell. And I don't care how moist that medley makes me feel. It's not worth it. One story of abuse is enough for me to boycott your company. That's what people are saying. This leader, this superstar director, isn't just speaking to the downline. They're actually speaking to the anti-MLM, everybody else watching this that could maybe think of purchasing a product from one of her downline. They're like, I'm out. This is the training that they do. This is what the person at the top of this pyramid scheme, my God, this is exactly what everybody has warned me about. I don't want anything to do with this company. That's what's happening.
And then 600 and then 1,000. So those are the 4 tiers for party host rewards. All right. So 250 is, yes, literally someone on your iPhone said it's 2 more 6-packs of wax. All right. And if you guys are in it and if you're truly working your business, that's not going to be much, you guys.
So insulting again. What she doesn't realize, and I think what people have yet to realize at the top of these pyramid schemes, is that their behavior, while they get away with it when they're in this closed system, they can get away with it. But the thing is the public is seeing this now. So it sounds reasonable when you're in an MLM cult, when you have a superstar director telling you it's really not that big a deal. I'm going to repeat this multiple times. And because I make more money than you will believe me. Somebody outside of this looking at that, they're like, this person keeps repeating that this isn't a lot. And it actually is a lot. This is deplorable how she's talking to people that she's financially benefiting from. Something to think about.
You guys can totally do that. It's still going to be, you have to sell 250 once a year to remain active in SCENTSY. Personally, I wish they would have changed it. I wish that they would have said you had to sell 250 every 4 months to keep your.
I bet you do, because you'd be really benefiting from it because you're at the top of the pyramid scheme. They always tell on themselves. Raw greed right here. Look at this. Personally, I wish that they had have made it every 4 months. Oh, fuck, I would love it because I'd be making even more money off you because the bulk of your money comes up to me. I actually benefit from it. Oh, but no, I'm actually doing it for your benefit. It's going to explode your business, you guys. By having that added pressure, by making it harder for you to pay rent, you're going to be able to manifest money even faster. SCENTSY's going down. How long do you think SCENTSY's going to last? Do you think it's going to make it to the end of this year? This is only January. We already had the poor hapless CEO come out with that train wreck of a Zoom presentation with Upchuck administering it. And we got Orville popping popcorn. Oh my God. And now we got the top of the pyramid scheme. How many other superstar directors are making calls?
Your SCENTSY account, because I feel like
This is Mindset Monday.
any less than that, you're really not benefiting from anything SCENTSY. You're not really making much commission. You're not really that active. That's just me personally. I hope that didn't hurt anyone's feelings, but it is still $250.
You did. Would you apologize if you hurt somebody's feelings? Have you ever apologized for hurting anyone's feelings? Or have you never hurt anyone's feelings ever in the 17 years you've been in SCENTSY? I mean, I think it's reasonable to assume as a human being, because we're not perfect, that you have probably hurt somebody in 17 years. I'm just curious if you've ever actually taken ownership and apologized for anything you've ever done in the 17 years you've been in SCENTSY. My guess is no.
Once a year. Now, this is the only compensation plan change that they made, and it's very, very slight. It's only going to make a difference in a few dollars probably in some people's paycheck. But anytime, for any rank, you could be a superstar director. Anytime you don't sell more than 250 PRV, you make 20% commission instead of 25.
How would you like it if you're suddenly your commission got chopped off from 25% to 20%? She's whatever the percent that she's making. It's just tiny. You can see they speak the opposite of what's actually going on. So SCENTSY's in financial trouble, and they say we have chosen debt. We don't have debt. No, SCENTSY does it really different. In Utah, we have chosen debt, and we have healthy challenges. And I mean, this is such a small change. This is, I mean, it's so inconsequential, I almost slipped my mind. I mean, if you just don't make it for that 1 month, well, it's not really that big a deal. You're not going to be getting paid as much. You're only going to be getting paid 20% instead of 25%. It's really not that big a deal, you guys. It's actually really amazing. I wish that you had to spend 250 PRV every 4 months. I think that would really bloom your business. Wow. Who in the hell is going to sign up with SCENTSY now with the exposure going on now? It doesn't matter. You know, there's so many angles of SCENTSY being covered. People just going out to YouTube, they're going to come across people speaking out against it like me. People that were in SCENTSY that are leaving, also speaking out in the comment section of various anti-MLM content creators. And you have SCENTSY participants in various stages of waking up, making videos. People are going to be like, this is too much. Why do I have to tune into a Mindset Monday? How is this mindset? How is this a Mindset Monday Zoom call? And all you're telling me is you're downplaying these significant changes that I have seen participants say, I lost my commission that I earned. I spent whatever they had to spend 1,000 PRV. I read one comment in the video that I had made, and they'd spent, I lost that. I had earned that, and now they've taken it away. They signed up for something that now SCENTSY has changed. They didn't sign up for this. Much like when you go into a group, a high control group, a cult, you didn't sign up for that. People signed up believing that if they hit this certain PRV, they would be getting paid a certain percentage, like whatever, 25%. Now SCENTSY has rug pulled. Oh no, we've changed it. We've changed the goalposts. How is that the participant's problem? This is SCENTSY's problem. And so now you have the person that is benefiting from all the people that are having to pay more money and saying, and just downplaying it. It's really not that big a deal. It's just so not that big a deal. It's so inconsequential that I have to come on this on YouTube and make a video telling you how not big of a deal it is. SCENTSY's in trouble.
So if you sell $200 March 1st, this goes into effect March 1st, then you make 20% commission. That's a good excuse for you to really push yourself to at least 250 to get that added 5% and make 25%. And you know, guys, the difference in commission in $200 from now to March 1st is $5.
So, okay. So is it a good incentive for somebody to push, or should they just sacrifice pushing then? You're saying two contradictory sentences at the same time. And you're gaslighting your entire downline. This is so fucking gross. MLMs, this is MLM. It doesn't matter what MLM it is. This is the heartbeat of MLM. So you have somebody that is said in the same virtually the same breath. This is a good incentive if you only spend 200 PRV for you to push and do 250 PRV to get that extra 5%. But if you don't, well, it's only $5. Unreal. You just can't make this shit up.
So it really is a little bit of change. It's not much. And it's only going to affect
if it's that little bit of a change, then why do they have to implement it? If it is so inconsequential and it's only $5, why take it away from the participants who aren't making hardly anything? If it's so measly, then just give it back. Why make the change? Oh, because SCENTSY is so desperate for money. They're going to be squeezing blood from stones right now. That's why. It isn't inconsequential. It's a lot. They're taking as much money as they can from you. Remember, everything they're saying, you can pretty much guarantee it's the opposite. There's like threads of truths, and it's just woven into this whole tapestry of lies. And then you have to start extricating yourself from it. You pull on one thread and the whole thing starts to unravel, and it's scary. I don't know if you weed at all. Clovers, they have those runners. You pull it and it's kind of satisfying. They'll run and you're like, holy crap, this thing, it just goes all the way across my yard. It's like that. You just tug on that and you realize, oh my God, this was a lie. Oh my God, this was deception. Oh my God, you experienced that too. Oh my God, we were siloed in the same community, the same company. We thought we were a part of a community. And yet, you're right. I always was too afraid to speak out, critically think. Why is that? That isn't who I am. Oh, it all starts to unravel.
Those that aren't really, and I don't mean to say this meanly at all, but are more of the hobbyists that aren't really working as much. And there's months where you just can't. Maybe you have some.
Oh my God, this is going to be a long video too. So this is again insulting the people in the downline. So this is what happens when multi-level marketing companies will say, we don't classify you as active. So in order to make our income disclosure statement look as good as possible, because our it's abysmal, people are losing money and we have to mask that, what we're going to do is, because people are unable to recruit and unable to make any kind of significant sales, we're going to create an arbitrary level. Let's just say it's $250, right? If they don't achieve that in a year, we just remove them. We don't even calculate them. That could be 80% of people. It could be 60% of people. We're not even going to calculate. They're just hobbyists. Oh, but they're not hobbyists. They're customers. Then you have people that are working so hard. They're doing everything that they should be doing, and they can't make a sale. They can't get a customer. And then you have somebody at the top of the pyramid scheme, and they gaslight them. They're like, well, you're just a hobbyist after all, aren't you? Because you're not really trying. I mean, it's so easy. Back at 17 years ago when I signed up, it was 150 PRV, and I was so happy when they changed it to 200 PRV, because it just it just put a fire underneath me, a fire in my soul, and I just was able to recruit and sell even more. And therefore, because they put it to 250 PRV, the same thing is going to happen with you. It doesn't make any fucking sense. So if you're not making any money, well, you're just a hobbyist anyway. They just insult people that are trying. They'll tune into these Zoom calls. This has nothing to do with mindset anyway. Where's the mindset training? Oh, the mindset is that I'm indoctrinating you. Listen to me speak, double speak, and just keep giving me money. 250 PRV isn't that much. Do it. Keep doing it. Keep buying stuff that you don't need, and you're going to wake up one day and you're going to realize, oh no, what have I been part of?
Something come up. Maybe you have a death in the family or someone sick or whatnot. And there are some months where you may not be able to do 250, but the amount of commission you're going to miss out on is dollars, not very much dollars.
Again, if it's so little and inconsequential, then why does SCENTSY need to take it from the participants? The spin on this is just revolting. It's not that big a deal. Then give it back. Why are you taking my sticky fingers in the pockets of SCENTSY participants? I mean, and again, if somebody dies in your family, for that month, you might not actually make the sales. The cavalier way with which she just said that, mind-blowing. Wow. You can tell this person's really empathetic.
The most I think you'll miss out on is $5 or $6 if you do less than 250 PRV. I see people making a big deal of this on pages, and I'm like, you guys, it is literally maybe makes a $2 $2 difference in your check. All right. If you really want to do something that makes a difference in your check, go sell 250 or more. Go sell 500. Go sell 1,000. Go work your business. There's so much business out there to be made. Go work it. It's if you're working and you're active, it's really a lot of these changes really won't affect you very much. So
I'll keep telling yourself that. I just got a message from Roberta Blevins, so I'm going to just take a little break and get back to do this project, and then I'm going to come back to this. This is exciting things happening in real time here.
And, change can be hard. I'm not saying it's not. I'm probably one of the worst persons to say, just change with times. But I have seen SCENTSY in 17 years make slight changes here and there, and it's always for the better. I promise you. I have full faith in this business. I have full faith in the owners. I have full faith in this company. I'm not one foot in, one foot out. You guys, this is my family.
Because this is a cult. You have to have faith. You have to be all in. If you aren't all in, then that is why you don't have success. You've seen one MLM, you've seen them all. It never ends. It never changes. They all say the same things. It doesn't matter what MLM you're in.
Family's livelihood. If I was worried, you would know. I am not a good liar. Ask my husband.
Yeah, you are. You've been lying this whole time, maybe inadvertently, but saying that somebody has chosen debt and that 250 PRV really isn't that big of a deal is something that I would most definitely categorize as a lie, because it is a big deal to a lot of people. And this isn't about you. This is supposed to be about your downline. What about empathy? What about empathy for your downline? It's not a big deal for you because you are at the top of this pyramid scheme. But what about the majority of the participants? Where's the understanding for them? I'm not worried. I. It's like the those seagulls. Aren't they saying I or me? That's what this reminds me of.
Husband, I'm a horrible liar. This company is going places, but it does take making those changes and tweaking. So we're going to keep moving on because there's more changes, and I want to see if you guys have questions at the end. Let me pull back up my notes. I don't want to skip anything. All right. So we talked about that slight commission change, bonus pay.
I also want to say bad move right at the beginning, mentioning out anti-MLM. You've made a curiosity post. It will drive people to look out for more information right from the get-go. And so that's what I do. As soon as I know that somebody has mentioned either me or my content or anti-MLM, I just make more content because I know there's going to be more people looking at it. And then I go to my stories. If you ever see me doing a blitz in my stories on Instagram and then that gets shared to Facebook, you'll know something's up. You're like, oh, she's struck a nerve. I just fire information there. I've been doing it since I left in 2021. Start fires, plant seeds, wash, rinse, repeat. It's a duplicatable way of advocacy. Just saying.
So you have to sell 2,500 to make 30% commission. So before, if you sold 2,000 or more, you got a bonus 5% commission. So that was 30%. Now you have to do 2,500 to get that bonus 5% commission and make 30%. Now, I've always wondered why this wasn't 25% since I started, because if you sell $2,500 a month, you earn annual sales. And I feel like that's a good tracker to earn annual sales. Annual sales is if you sell 30,000 in one calendar year with SCENTSY, then you get a big bonus check during SFR right before SCENTSY family reunion. And
I think she knows exactly what's going on here.
And so 2,500 instead of 2,000, that only flex probably not a whole lot of you. But the ones that do, they're already hustling their business. So I feel like that's something that's very attainable. Okay. This next, yes, Mary said, I always wondered why it wasn't 2,500. I'm so glad to.
Yeah, I'm sure everybody thought that. I mean, stuff that has never happened ever. Nobody ever said in SCENTSY. I wonder why it's not been increased from 2,000 PRV to 2,500 PV. Everybody like entering SCENTSY and they're just signing up for the discount. They just sat down, they were looking at the compensation plan and they're like, this doesn't make any sense. Like, why is it so low? It should be 2,500 PRV. I mean, it's just ludicrous.
And Negative Nancy's almost had me convinced to throw in the towel. Look, Luana, I'm so glad you didn't.
What's a negative Nancy, and why do you feel the need to use like a name calling or insult? You know, what is a negative Nancy? It seems to me this is a tactic that is employed to deter you from critical thinking. I'm going to use a bumper sticker reduction and resort into baby talk. I go potty. I go away from negative Nancy. Somebody pointing out to you that you're in a pyramid scheme and you're being defrauded, and you're fighting against that, saying, no, I want to continue to spend 250 PRV, and if I can't make my quota, I'm going to actually earn less money. Somebody pointing out to me that this is actually harming me is a quote, negative Nancy, end quote. Remember, people outside of this who might be your customer or a recruit are seeing how you're talking, and it is repellent because they've seen it in other multi-level marketing companies too. They might have been thinking of purchasing a wax melt, and they're like, I don't want any part of this. I don't want to be a part of a community of people where they call others negative Nancy. This is a joke. Are you grown-ups here? What's going on?
I get to this next step. Guys, there's this horrible, horrific, I mentioned at the beginning of the call, Whiffbot page that now is called SCENTSY Freedom of Speech page. It is a bunch of BS. It is anti-MLMs that never made anything out of MLM. Maybe they got canceled, maybe they got burned. Maybe they just hate people that work for themselves.
What about the women that have been abused, Jacqueline? What are you going to say to them? Let's get you on the record here. Is it just every single person that feels that they're unable to speak to you because you're going to call them a name? Do you think maybe they've gone somewhere to start their own community because they didn't want to leave? They just love their wax melts. But you're going to come up here and try to do a ridiculous Zoom call to counteract it. It's just garbage. I mean, it's really counteracting it with facts and statistics, with the chosen debt. I mean, you've convinced me. Do you think that this response is a diplomatic response to woo people back? Or do you think it's just insulting and you've just drawn a line in the sand to make sure those people never purchase SCENTSY again? You don't know how to talk to people. You don't know how to deal with conflict because you're in a multi-level marketing cult and you're either all in or you're out. That's what's going on here. This is a good video. I can see why people send it to me.
In their yoga pants at home. I don't know what it is, but
in their yoga pants at home? Negative is, did you get training from rank makers? I haven't heard that in a long time. In their yoga pants at home? What are you wearing right now? Are you at home? Are you wearing pajama bottoms? What does fantasizing, maybe fetishizing what people are wearing as bottoms at home have to do with them wanting to share their concerns? This doesn't make any sense. This is very weird. This just took a right turn into la la land. I love it. I mean, I you know what? I can totally see why. This is great leadership. You should sign me up with SCENTSY. I mean, this is the kind of person I want to definitely evolve into. You imagine the only thing you can come back with is like, oh, people in yoga pants. Is that supposed to be an insult to people? It's like, oh, you're living in your parents' basement. It's like, you can't make that joke anymore because people just can't afford a home. But they'll say, oh, you're in your yoga pants. It's like, if you have yoga pants, especially if you're in Canada and you're purchasing Lululemon yoga pants, those are really costly. It's not an insult. It's actually a compliment because they really, a lot of them make your bum look really good. So I don't understand that. That's such a weird thing to say.
Quit following those pages. Quit giving them likes. Those people are bitter people who, one girl changed the name to that whip page 6 times in one day. Go.
Wow, it looks like you might be terminally online and scrutinizing every move that person is making. She changed it 6 times. How do you feel about that? Does that hurt your feelings? What does somebody doing something have anything to do with you? They're hateful, bitter people. I've got nothing. They have no point at all. All of those people are haters and negative Nancy's, and all of them wear yoga pants. Maybe they're going to sign up with an MLM that sells yoga pants. This is mindset training. This is Mindset Monday with your friendly neighborhood SCENTSY representative. I bet you didn't know that this was part of the purchase that you're paying when you get a SCENTSY wax melt and a Disney warmer. And this is the person that your friend or your family member, your neighbor, they're tuning into this. They're not getting paid to. They're being spoken to like children, and they're being this stay away from people, block them, ignore them. I need to undermine this person's credibility by pointing out that she's probably wearing yoga pants. I'm going to say negative Nancy, and I'm going to say she also changed the name of the Facebook group 6 times. You still don't know the definition of a pyramid scheme, and in such a fucking joke in 17 years, you've never trained your downline to even track their expenses. There's one person who's a joke here, and it's not the person who started that Facebook group.
Go get a life. Like, go get a life. I could go on about this. It is ridiculous.
I think you already are going on about it, and I think you should go get a life. I think it's ridiculous that you're doing a training on mindset when you're so triggered that you have to follow somebody so closely that you've seen that they've changed the name of a Facebook group 6 times. Why are you so threatened by people in yoga pants?
Ridiculous how they're trying to bash such an incredible company over dollars, right? The big point they were talking about on the commission change, I'm like, oh my gosh, like literally most people won't even see the difference because it is literally maybe a $2 in their paycheck. We're not talking.
Wow. So then why don't you sacrifice it? The fucking arrogance.
Talking hundreds or thousands. So those people on those whip walk pages need to go get a life.
They do need, is that according to you? You're going to tell them to go get a life? You say it with your whole chest. Here you go.
You guys need to quit following them. Get your teams off of those pages because
you need to this is now the cult of SCENTSY, okay? This is behavior control. You need to get your teams off those pages. And how are you going to do that? Well, you're going to call them names. You're going to say that they're haters. You're going to say they have absolutely no grounds for the freedom of expression and the freedom of speech because they're in a cult. They have no right to complain and to point out that they can't afford to participate in SCENTSY anymore because it's only $2 to $3. Therefore, they have no right to say anything at all. You need to get your people off those pages because our fake business is so pathetic and weak that we cannot bear scrutiny. We don't encourage people to go out and say, yes, you know what? You will figure it out because we can stand on the merits of our incredible values of what is it? Authenticity, simplicity, and what was the third core value of SCENTSY? I've already forgotten. It can't stand on its own. You need to scare people away. If your business was so great, you'd be like, go out and join as many groups as you want, and you're going to make an informed decision, and you're going to come back because it's an absolute no-brainer. But people can't. You're that terrified. This is the only way they can do business. Can you imagine now somebody, your neighbor, is like going through, they've come across, this training, and they're like, I don't want to buy a wax melt. I'd rather purchase it from Amazon. This is too much. This is where all my money is going, is to this person at the top of a pyramid scheme, somebody who is calling themselves a superstar director. Like, is this a joke? She's insulting women wearing yoga pants. She's saying that people need to go get a life because they're figuring out they're in a pyramid scheme and they're being defrauded. No, thanks. I'm not interested. I'm going to help you achieve your go for no goal. I'm going to tell you no right away. No. And don't ever ask me again. I'm not interested. I'm not open. And I'm not curious. Bye-bye.
Just toxic, right? Negativity breeds negativity. And we ain't got time for that. We got to go out and work our businesses and make money, bring money home to our families, right? So that was my little rant on that. I just can't stand people who have such a high opinion on something they know very little about.
Actually, you don't know the definition of a pyramid scheme and you've never trained your downline to track their expenses. People actually do know a lot more than you do, apparently, because you think that it's just so easy for people to achieve this 250 PRV. And if people can't, then there's something wrong with them. And if they can't sell the 250 PRV and they're going to sacrifice like a measly $5, well, then that shouldn't be a problem either. You're the problem. There's a common denominator in this. It's you. And you're at the top. This is good for you, SCENTSY participants. Good for you for starting a group and for speaking out and for sharing and for actually being able to speak openly. You can start figuring out you all have the same experience. This reminds me of Transact Card and Finmore. This is what they had to do. They were getting kicked out of these groups because they were asking questions. They were being blocked and they just formed their own. That's empowerment. That's healthy conflict, healthy debate. Blind obedience and saying like, I'm not making enough money. It's like, they just got to go get a life. They're just sitting. You need to disparage them in order to just keep taking money from the downline. It's sad because people think this is a powerful training, but eventually, you know, more and more people will, you know, avoid this thing and there'll be people that will leave. You know, these scams are always going to exist, but what we can do is just to show what's going on, expose it, offer that like social safety net for people, you know, as they exit, you're like, you're not alone. Look at this. I'm speaking out. I'm pointing out. I saw it too. You're not crazy. It wasn't your fault. That kind of thing. Get back to this mindset Monday. Can you imagine? This is a mindset training. So stupid.
All right. So next section. And Amy, read the comments. If there's anything we need to address, let me know. Next section. So our bundle and saves. Right now we have 2 pages of bundle and saves. Guys, they're kind of confusing. Like, you know, if, you know, Pat or Tammy came to me and says, I need this warmer and I need these bars. I've got to go to my bundle and save, okay, say, Heather, we can do this and this 6 bars. So if you want to pick out a different warmer, we can put it in the perfect SCENTSY and this and that. And so it does get kind of confusing. So SCENTSY is making it simple. We're going to have a whole page of 10% off bundles. We're going to have any warmer and 6 bars, 10% off. 3 fragrance flowers, 10% off. 2 scent circle packs, 10%.
It doesn't matter if you have moisture medley on sale for like 10, buy 10 and get the moisture for free. It's your behavior just at trying to disparage people from speaking out is enough to deter anybody away from buying SCENTSY products. Just that alone. Just you losing your nut. Just going off. It's like, it doesn't matter how easy SCENTSY makes it. It's your behavior has pushed the possibility of more people buying SCENTSY wax melts or anything. Doesn't matter how easy it is. Doesn't matter the flash sale. People are going to see this and be like, I don't want to support this. This is revolting. This is somebody at the top of a pyramid scheme. How much 6 figures? What is this? How much person is this person making compared to the downline? I'm not interested. Like I said, I'd rather just purchase something from Amazon.
% off. Cleaning bundle, 10% off. Laundry bundle, 10% off. So much easier. And I want to explain one thing that can be kind of confusing. One thing that they did not take away, thank you, Orville and Heidi, is our buy 5, get 1 free 6-pack. It is kind of the staple of what we can offer and what we do. I sell that package probably, I don't know if I'm, you know, working it really hard, 10.
Are you selling it to all your distributors or do you actually have customers? Or is it all the demonstrators? Who needs that much stuff? It's too much stuff. It's just people have had enough. Like, it's such a waste too. Like, people just don't want to spend that much money. My cat walked across my keyboard, so I had to try to find the spot again. I think this is it.
So hopefully that explains that well. I'm super thankful that SCENTSY did that. Now, I do want to explain.
I feel like I need to put some yoga pants on.
It would have been a lot easier for SCENTSY to say, hey, let's go up $3 PRV on each warmer. Let's go up on our bars. Let's make them 7 PRV instead of 6 PRV. Let's just do that. Let's not make this complicated. Let's not make it harder for us to change tweaks here, like change the button.
This is so Orwellian. I can't even believe it. They could have done it. They could have, talking themselves right out of business. That's what this one's doing.
Here, change a little bit of the compensation here, change the 200 to 250, you know, host minimum. They could have, instead of doing all those tweaks to hopefully impact us less, they could have just went up on everything because everything.
They're actually doing you a favor. The spin, the reach. This is so brutal. Oh, SCENTSY, do you know you've got somebody at the top of your pyramid scheme saying exactly what that you could have done, but you chose not to? Or was this just pulled out of thin air?
Thing cost more than it used to cost. And that would have been the easier thing for SCENTSY to do. Trust me. And trust me when I say they thought about that.
Trust me. She's like, she promises you that she's not a liar, and now you got to trust her. Again, red flags. You just can't back up what you say. You just have to trust someone. I don't trust you as far as I could throw you.
But they tried to tweak sections so the impact wouldn't be as great, but then hopefully that impact that is made will only bring fruitfulness to our businesses. If your team's doing 250 instead of 200, your team wholesale volume is going to be up. If you're selling 250 instead of 200, that means you're going to make more of a commission. And so there is thought into each one of these. And I mean, you guys think about it. I just saw Costco's going up on their membership every year. Are we going to?
Do they also have to recruit people? If you go to Costco and you pay for a membership, do you have to then make a monthly or quarterly or yearly mandatory purchase, or you lose something? Or is it just a purchase? Is the only thing that you have in common with Costco is an annual membership? That's the only thing. Kind of like if you're wearing an orange shirt and then you see an orange on the top of a capybara, and you say that's the exact same thing. I'm a capybara. You're not a capybara. The only thing in common is that the color is orange. Similarly, because there is a membership that is at Costco and at SCENTSY, it doesn't mean that the two businesses are the same at all. And it's an unfair and an unequal. It's a logical fallacy to try to equate the membership of SCENTSY to the membership of Costco. Again, to rationalize like an increase of membership or the existence of it at all. They can never describe what they are. They need to deflect constantly. We could have done something else. Orville Redenbacher and Heidi, they were out hiking in the mountains and playing Sound of Music, and then they brought up Chuck and he got sick and now he's okay. Frank was doing something in the background with the Zoom call, and they could have done all these changes, but we need to be more fruitful with our downline. And then there's the negative Nancy's that, can you believe her? Frickin' Jan in her yoga pants made a Facebook group and she changed that name 6 times. They need to go get a life. Okay, back to Mindset Monday. Don't track your expenses. They could have increased the warmer by 7 PRV here. They could have done this. They could have tweaked the dials and all that, but they didn't. They decided to make it easier for you. Yeah, woo! Welcome to the shit show that's SCENTSY.
To go and riot and create We Hate Costco Facebook pages, Freedom of Costco Facebook pages.
It's absurd. No, because Costco isn't a multi-level marketing pyramid scheme. It's incredible. I know. It's something to behold. I know that Costco isn't an MLM or a direct selling company. They're just a business. It's just people aren't deceived. People aren't called negative Nancy's and insulted by wearing yoga pants if they shop at Costco. People that shop at Costco don't have somebody like you getting on and insulting them and gaslighting them and thinking it's a big fucking joke. They can just buy their noodles, their bulk ketchup and mustard, and have a $1.50 hot dog. It's never changed since the dawn of time. It tastes good, fills you up. They could get on with their day. They could go and say, I got screwed at Costco. Look at these yoga pants I bought. They had a hole in the bum, but then I returned them and nothing happened. They don't have to worry about hordes of SCENTSY participants harassing them online saying, how dare you criticize this beautiful industry? There's not somebody in Costco that isn't a corporate member, but just somebody selling memberships who recruit memberships that has to do a Zoom call and say, get your teams off all those pages. That's what's absurd. It's your behavior is absurd. And people that shop at Costco that might have not known about multi-level marketing, and they're like, oh, my neighbor sells SCENTSY. oh, they put it together. They're like, they put together your behavior and that SCENTSY participant, and they're like, I don't want anything to do with this. Wow, this is exactly what they point out to me. People, consumer advocates, explaining how these are cults. And they do these logical fallacies. And they say, nope, I don't want anything to do with it. Look at this. Speaking to an ever shrinking downline.
No, we're not, because that's stupid, right? Things go up.
It's so stupid. All the stupid women in yoga pants. We're empowering women at SCENTSY, you guys. All those negative Nancys wearing yoga pants at home, starting a Facebook group, they're stupid. It's so stupid. I'm the top of a pyramid scheme. I'm a great leader. If you don't believe me, just ask me.
Up every month, every year, right? This is just part of life. This is part of healthy changes in companies, not just direct sales companies, but companies in general. I understand, I love Costco, but I understand that things cost more. And I understand that membership costs are going to go up.
I'm totally reasonable. It's just ridiculous. These people that have started this Facebook group. Oh, I mean, would you make a Facebook group against Costco? She's bothered. This is nuts. I bet you these people are going to lose rank so fucking fast. It's like on the one of those roller coasters. It's just like, it's just going to plummet. This was a mistake to make this video public.
They didn't do it because they're selfish. They don't do it because they want to make our lives miserable. They don't do it because they just want to be greedy. Whatever you've heard from those anti-MLM pages, they don't do it because of that. They do it because they have to, because they want to keep Costco a healthy company.
Are we talking about Costco or are we talking about SCENTSY? You can't even talk about your company. You need to talk about the people detracting from it. You need to talk about people critically thinking. You need to talk about Costco. You need to talk about everything else but what you're involved in. You got to talk about what it was like when you were in. You can't pin somebody down when they're an MLM. They squirm. It's like a slimy something in Vaseline, and the more you try to grab it, it just pops out. You can't grab a hold of it. It's the truth. It's elusive. Very interesting.
That we can go shop and buy bulk toilet paper for like 25 bucks, right? Pat Lufer wishes she could buy toilet paper for 25 bucks right now in Houston because all the toilet paper is gone because of the snowstorm coming in. So I'm telling you, these changes are healthy changes, right? And
just like the debt is chosen debt.
So I'm hopeful that you guys are going to rise above the negativity. I was bragging about you guys in Mexico and Cancun this last week at leadership. I was like, man, I have to say, like, my group was pretty darn awesome, because these people were just, oh, I've got negative Sally, and then I was like, I've got a great group. Like,
what about the people who have been abused, Jacqueline? Are they negative too? Is there anybody anywhere in SCENTSY who has a right to point out something has happened to them, or all of them, every single person in SCENTSY who has anything negative to say, there's something wrong with them? Do you think that's a reasonable supposition? Do you think that makes sense? Do you think that's convincing to anybody outside SCENTSY or your downline? It's just like the arrogance too about, oh, I was at leadership and I was really bragging about you guys. What if one of you guys said something, you're like, no, I see that they have a point. How fast do you think she's going to call you stupid and insult you?
They're reasonable. They have common sense. They understand. They know that change is inevitable. And
you're reasonable and common sense by staying in a multi-level marketing pyramid scheme. Got it.
Change can be good, and change can be healthy. And I truly believe that it takes very few to bring up the mass, and it also takes very few to bring down the masses. But I truly feel like that my group, that you guys are just a different breed. You guys are incredible. And I just know that you are going to, understand these changes and understand the why behind them, and then go out and kick butt. So let me keep going. I think there might be a few more. Let me look at my notes.
It's wishful thinking. It's not going to happen. There'll be a few diehards. There always is in every high control group, and it's just sad to see they just cling on, you know. But this could be happening in any this is happening in every MLM. You have somebody that is at the top of the pyramid scheme that is behaving this way. This just happens to be for wax melts and warmers.
Buy 5, get 1 free. Actually, I think that's it. I think that's it. One thing I want to share with you guys, and then
not it. She goes on for 22 more minutes. We're only halfway through this video,
and we'll open it up if you have questions. Chuck Thompson explained, and I told some of my leaders this. I've told some of you guys this, and I just talked about this just a while ago. We are on a sailboat moving forward. SCENTSY is not stagnant. We're not sinking. Okay, we're on a sailboat and we're moving forward. We are moving forward with optimism, and we are moving forward, but we're throwing things overboard that are weighing us down, right? You guys may be doing that anyway. It's the first of the year. You may be changing your systems. You may be throwing out junk food. You may be throwing out, I don't know, stuff that doesn't bring fruitfulness to your family or to yourself.
What the hell is this fruitfulness? If you know what, is this the Utah component? Is there something going on here? Again, I haven't looked into this whole other aspect of all the MLMs and Utah and Mormon and all that, but is this fruitfulness is shooting up a red flag, flying up the sailboat pole. It's like, oh, that's flopping in the wind. The perfect storm is coming. 100-foot waves coming, and that wind is whipping that red flag. Fruitfulness? What?
You may be throwing out cooks. You whatever it may be. This is what SCENTSY's doing to keep us a healthy company, a prosperous company, and an incredible direct sales company. Again, that'll be around for years to come. An example of that is car bars. They're in our way. They're not making us money. Throw them overboard, right? And so I hope this makes sense. I know it's a lot of change. Amy, I'm sure we can look at questions. SCENTSY is doing the bathtub effect. I've never heard of that, but
the bathtub effect, is that somebody that is saying you pull the plug and it's constantly draining? So yeah, that's why you have to keep recruiting. Did somebody that knows this is a pyramid scheme actually say that comment? And they're like, hey, you didn't catch the metaphor. Because that's been a description of what goes on in the churn rate of multi-level marketing companies.
All right, Amy, what questions did you see any along the way that we need to address, or
are you wearing yoga pants? I think she might have been wearing yoga pants.
Everybody's just in agreement, like onward and upward. Somebody said they were struggling to hit the 200 a month. And so I don't know if you want to, if we just want to share some ideas, but that could be the focus of another call too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I think whoever said that, I think we can do a whole call on that. I think that could be a really, really great call. I know.
Oh my God. What are you going to say during this call? They can't sell it because the market is saturated. And your training has chased away any potential of customers that this poor person could have got. They're like, I don't want to do it. It's not worth it. A whole call on 200 PRV. Oh my God. The hours wasted in these useless trainings.
I think I even have a document, however posted that I can put on our Mindset Monday. That it's like 100 ways to get PRV. So I will find that and I will post that on Mindset Monday. Let me make myself.
Number one is to buy it yourself. That's probably the one that everybody does, and it's not working. They can't afford it anymore.
A note. What other things did you see, Amy? And
another way is to sell it to your customer. I mean, I think there's two ways that you can do this. You either purchase the products or you have someone else purchase it. What are the other 98? Is the only way to get PRV is to sell a product, because there would only be two actual ways to get that PRV. This is
I'll make
nuts.
myself a note.
Something that I'm doing, I just ordered this book. It's 2025, My Brilliant Year Workbook, but Biz Edition by Leonie Dawson. I ordered it off of Amazon, and it's like, you go through and you look at last year's business stuff, and you make your goals and look and kind of figure out what you want to do to help your business for the new year. So I got this idea from Patty Wonder. So I'm
That
going through that.
I love that, Jennifer. You always are so just crafty, Jennifer. I thank you for sharing each week because you have some of the best ideas. Someone
It's not going to help you. It's just another purchase, you know, and more busy work. You write it down and you look back and you think this is going to mean something, you know. It's just so sad.
just said, I feel like all these people quitting means more SCENTSY for me. Oh, I forgot to share this. So I learned this at Leadership. Currently, there's 156,000 consultants globally. Now, closer to COVID, there was around 200,000. That number right there excites me.
It should scare you because it's in decline and you're not going to get those numbers back.
Because that just means there's that many people out there without a consultant and they're waiting for me. You're right.
Nobody's waiting for you, Jacqueline. I can guarantee it. Nobody wants anything to do with you outside of SCENTSY to purchase something after this behavior in this call. And who knows what other ones. It's 156,000 and dropping. And it's going to continue. So all those people quitting means more SCENTSY for you. It does mean more SCENTSY for you. It means more SCENTSY that you have to purchase. You already are now up to 250 PRV. What is it going to be next year? What is it going to be in a few months' time? As it was 156,000. And now with this announcement, you have a SCENTSY participants who are so upset. They have started their own Facebook group. They're like, I'm out. I can't even afford it. This is ridiculous. I would have stayed in this company. I like these products so much, but I'm out. I'm done. Then there's people that were like, I actually only just signed up for the discount. I know they believe that they signed up for the discount, but whatever. Let's just entertain this. And I never really experienced any pressure. It doesn't matter. You're still involved in a pyramid scheme and a cult, even though you don't feel like you have experienced coercion. It's the same as people that were purchasing the personal development from NXIVM. They could be like, oh, it really benefited me. It was still a cult. It was still an MLM. It doesn't matter.
The people that work their business and put themselves out there are going to get all those people out there that need consult.
All those people, it was a false bump that most multi-level marketing companies experienced in 2020. And more and more people are refusing to purchase multi-level marketing products. So the decrease of people thinking that it's a benefit, that there's so many people out there that want a SCENTSY rep. There's so many people out there that don't want anything to do with multi-level marketing. And by complaining and shunning and name calling and insulting the people who you had previously edified, supported, locked arms with, shared their posts, encouraged them, by you treating them like that, people see that outside of this and I don't want to purchase these at all. I was on the fence and now my decision is made. It is not worth it. There is too much drama. There's too much scrutiny. I don't want my friend or my family member, my neighbor to be now excluded and experience all this weird coercion just because I thought I was supporting their business and they don't even own a business.
Consultants. That also means there's not very many consultants and people are turning 18 every single day. And people need money every single day. People are losing their job every single day. So yes, let the people quit that quit, right? That just means more sales for us. And I don't mean that insensitively at all. I truly, truly don't.
No, people are turning 18 every day. Oh no. We're not a predatory business model at all. It's a completely rational thing to say. People are turning 18 every day. So fucking disgusting. Wow.
I just mean these changes, although sometimes bigger in some areas, are truly slight in the grand scheme of things. And they shouldn't make or break your business. And again, I hope this isn't too like harsh conversation, but I just had a conversation with someone yesterday.
It's going to be funny because it's going to break her business. Do you think she's going to be taking her own advice? She won't.
The day before, my days are running together since we got back. But I told them, I said, some people look for reasons to quit because their business isn't going the way they want. And this will be that reason. Although I don't think that this is a big change. I think they're healthy, good changes. Some people, again, are looking for reasons.
What about the people who have been abused, Jacqueline? What about that? Do you think they're looking for reasons? Because this is going on. This is just a reality. Stories are coming out every day in every multi-level marketing company. People are looking for reasons. They're standing up for themselves. They're like, this is no longer acceptable. And it's not worth it. I'm out. And they're helping others exit too.
To quit because their business isn't going the way they want it to. Right? It could.
And would that be considered a sound business decision? If you're not making any money, why would you start to keep throwing good money after bad? That's called the sunk cost fallacy. Because at some point it's going to turn around. SCENTSY's a sailboat after all. It's going to create generational wealth for the years to come. It's making so much money. They don't even have debt. They have chosen debt. Keep putting in more money. It's not that big a deal. Don't think. It's just those women in yoga pants. We're about empowering women. All those women that are against us, they're wearing yoga pants. The hell is like the moisture medley in yoga pants? What? So weird.
Could have been that we get rid of the whiff boxes, and that might be big enough reasons for them to quit because they're looking for a reason to blame SCENTSY for their business not going great. And I pray that none of you guys on here are in that situation. I pray that,
because I'm going to gaslight and insult you too. Look at this. Could be a Mon 8 rep, you know? All these people looking for a reason. It's just so gross. They think this is leadership. This is what gets to the top of a pyramid scheme. This is who is at the top of a pyramid scheme. This right here.
when obstacles come upon you, that you rise above, you figure it out, you embrace change. You throw yourself into trainings, you throw yourself on these Mindset Mondays, you cling to your upline director or your upline sponsor, and you say, okay, I have struggled. Just like I saw Nancy said, I'm so thankful, Nancy, that you're vulnerable, and you said that in the comments. But you reach out. Nancy reached out to me.
There's actually a Nancy on there. She's like, I'm not negative.
Other people have reached out, and you say, hey, what can I do to get there? What can I do to get these sales? I need ideas, right? This business is so much more fruitful and fun when you have others to do it with. If you're on your own, trying to work your business and come up with your own ideas, it's not near as fun, and it's a lot harder. So first off,
yeah, it looks like it's a lot of fun in SCENTSY. Wow, it looks like it's a real shindig party, whiz bang. Woo! Can tell the positivity oozing out of SCENTSY. I mean, it's just like this big magnet just drawing people in, like I've never seen before. I mean, wouldn't you want to be a part of this incredible team? Wow.
Kudos to you guys for getting on tonight. I hope every week this is a call of training and ideas can be super powerful, and they can really motivate us to push ourselves to the next level. So I'm really, really proud of you guys for getting on tonight.
Can I
let's
quickly
see.
say something?
Yeah.
Sometimes I think people forget that SCENTSY needs us to make money. So if they wouldn't make the changes to help us make money, they're not making money either. So they do think of us, but they have to think of the many and how it will affect them. And change isn't comfortable, but it's needed. And any business that doesn't change. I mean, we were looking at, I went to post something to one of my hosts the other day, and it was $25 to post something. And you think about the people that get like stacks and stacks and stacks and stacks of boxes that you see, you know, around. And it was what, free shipping or $10 shipping at the most. Like, really, when you look at it, if you had a business brain and you took a second,
you wouldn't be involved in this multi-level marketing pyramid scheme, and you would be tracking your income and expenses. It's just the justification and defense of this predatory fraud, which is an MLM. It's so sad. There's so many good people that get caught up in this, that just really believe it's a business, and they do all this work. Their creativity is just drained into this stuff, you know? They love their products. They love the community. Ugh.
I think Jack gave me a really lovely compliment, but she didn't know she did it. When we were in Mexico, because I was in Cancun as well, and she snuck me the list to look at the changes because she was sitting next to me while they were starting to talk about them. And she watched me and she said, "Oh, I read them." And then I kind of sat back and I just processed. And what I've learned from SCENTSY is that you need to remove the emotion. You need to remove the emotion. First of all, it's business. And I understand that we all love it and it's our happy place. And this is where our friends are. This is where our money is. This is where our favorite products are. But it's a business. And you need to remove the emotion from it. You really do. And you need to step back and just process and wait. I've learned this I've been now 10 years this year. And Orville, trust Orville's brain.
He loves it. Just trust him. Just trust Ray Urdanata's brain. Who's Orville now? Just trust Orville. He makes great popcorn. Like, the joke is over, Julie. This is really bad. I know. That's why I'm going to press into it even harder. It's a pain point now I've discovered, and I'm going to keep pressing it. It's going to pop.
Trust Orville's brain. They have, and
trust Orville's brain. It's like, that's just the training, the quote, trust Orville's brain. Oh, just trust it. There's no possible way that they could be doing something to hurt the majority of their participants. There's no possible, just trust them. Just trust. Don't question. Remove your emotions. In fact, don't think. Just trust his brain. Oh yeah. It's going to totally explode everybody's SCENTSY business with this advice, you know? This is so brutal.
Honestly, if they do something and it does not working in like 6 months, they'll switch it back. Like, they're more than willing to admit if they're like, yeah, okay, that didn't work the way we thought it was going to work. Let's switch it back. They're not perfect, but 100% trust. And so I never get emotional about this because, and for those that are going, well, yeah, she's a director, because we hear that a lot for some reason, like directors don't.
No, because you're at the top of a pyramid scheme, so you don't get emotional. So this is considered anybody then who is also saying, this is a scam, this is a pyramid scheme, I no longer want to participate in this, or they're in some stages of that, where they're like, I don't want to spend this money. This is actually hurting me. I can't afford it. And because I'm getting kicked out of a group or my voice is being squashed, I've joined another Facebook group. And now I'm getting insulted by people that I looked up to. It's like, well, you're just being emotional. You can say whatever you want. People just aren't going to buy your products. That's the bottom line here. It doesn't matter how many times you repeat it and how many calls you do to the ever shrinking, diminishing downline that you have. You are pushing people away. People are seeing this and they're like, I don't want anything to do with this. This is exactly like the MLM I just left. And if they're looking at it, somebody that is like, oh, people are turning 18 every day. Wow, as soon as they turn 18, get them. I don't want any part of that. They're going to say that too. Scrutiny is only increasing.
Don't do anything. But I started my business from zero. And I didn't know how I was going to get even $250 a month or even $500.
Again, nobody cares. Everybody says this. They all say I started it from zero. Everybody starts it from zero. But then there's like, did you really start it from zero? How do you categorize zero? You know, did you get in at the beginning of a multi-level marketing company? Did you inherit a line? Were you offered a bridge contract? There's always something there. Nothing is ever as it seems in MLM. It's always done to be like, well, you're just like me. I'm just like you, except I'm also better than you because I work harder than you. I had nothing. I didn't know what I was doing. It's the same story. It's just with SCENTSY. This could be Amway right now. It could be Mon8.
A month to
You know?
make director numbers because I had no customers when I moved back. So just trust. I know a lot of you are into faith and having that faith and that hope and that
Oh, yeah. Faith, religious manipulation. Well done. Just have faith. Believe Orville's brain and just have faith. No, this is unacceptable. This isn't how you run a business. This is a commercial cult.
trust. They don't steer us wrong and they don't do anything that doesn't benefit us, because if it didn't benefit us, it doesn't benefit them. So that's all I wanted to say.
I love it, Patty. I love Patty. Patty was there, so she got to rub shoulders with a lot of high up too, and kind of get the same perspective. And again, like Patty said too, they're not going to make changes. They're not going to make any changes that's going to harm us. And that's why it's really important, like Patty said, take out the emotions of it.
So then all those people who are leaving SCENTSY that you were benefiting from, that you're calling names and you're saying that you should remove your teams from and block them and stay away and don't look at their information, I think it is hurting you. I think SCENTSY did a gross misstep and they're regretting it as we speak. That's what I think.
Let it sink in. Companies
And just wait.
Yeah.
Wait for the explanation. Just wait before you blow up. Just wait. And I think that's where people make the mistake, because
everybody blew up. They did. No, people don't need to wait. It's very easy when a house is on fire to get out of the house. You don't need to wait and trust Orville's brain and then conjure up some spiritual manipulation, some faith abuse to get people to stay in the house that's on fire. They can see that the house is on fire and they get out. And they're like, I'm not a part. I want to get out of this house. I'm saying that this house is on fire and I'm being told I'm wearing yoga pants. And it's clear that I'm not even wearing yoga pants. I'm wearing jeans. I'm wearing button flies. Somebody keeps telling me I'm wearing yoga pants. So stupid. It's like random insults that they come up with. Just, this is SCENTSY level.
the waiting part.
Yeah.
And the other thing is about the groups. If you're feeling a certain way in those groups, you're choosing to feel that way, because if you choose to sit in manure, which is what you're doing, you're choosing to sit in manure.
So now you're talking about people that they're shit. If you're choosing to sit, well, the thing is what if you're the manure? Another director, another highly developed, personally developed leader saying you're sitting in manure. If you're sitting in manure, well, then you're choosing to. The thing is that they're choosing to feel horrible about themselves. They're not actually having a choice because they're staying here and they're continuing to give you lot money, but they're leaving. And your only thing back is to just then say, well, it's the same cult rhetoric that you see in every MLM. You just have to paint people as the villain. That's it. There is no nuance. There's no gray area. It's black and white. It's very easy. Well, you're choosing. This is supposed to be leadership. Can you imagine? This is what you aspire to be, sitting on your bedroom floor, fucking SCENTSY plaque behind you, and you're telling people that they're sitting in manure. Jesus Christ. Nobody's going to be buying SCENTSY wax warmers for this. Like, you get that, right? You're actually damaging your own businesses by this, which it's not even your own business anyway.
Get out of the manure and leave.
We do not want you guys, none of you guys, to sit in manure.
And you leave, they're going to turn on you so fast. She will turn on you so fast, it'll make your head spin. I'm sure there's people that have already been the recipient of her leadership training before. You can tell. Yikes.
Yes, the groups are so toxic. Yes, Allison Petty. Yeah, Allison texted me. She was like, "Oh my gosh, this Whipbox group," and I was like, "Leave," like.
And SCENTSY's watching that one, so get out of it.
Yeah, and I can.
Oh, are they? Is SCENTSY watching it? Wow. Very interesting that they're watching it.
I can say right now, there'll be a lot of legal things that happen with the admin of that group. I can just tell you there will be legal action. So,
oh, wow. I hope there's legal action against SCENTSY. I hope this FTC comes in and shuts it down. I hope there's a class action lawsuit against SCENTSY. Someone can dream, eh? Look at this, the fucking vague threats. Oh, there's going to be legal action against the admin of the group. You're fucking acting like Scientology. This needs to stop. MLMs need to stop. This is ridiculous. So this is somebody that is saying now, you're wearing yoga pants, they're sitting in manure. Participants have created a Facebook group. She's monitoring it. She's fucking glued to Facebook, probably hitting refresh multiple times a day to note that the name has been changed 6 times. And she's saying, oh, there's going to be legal action. Crawl back into the SCENTSY warmer that you are in with the moisture medley and just stay there. You know, stop scamming people. This is deplorable. Can you imagine? Would you ever want to sign up with SCENTSY after seeing this? Even this threat of legal action? This is the same as Melaleuca. This is why nobody is going to be purchasing your products. You can thank your company for that. Your company starts threatening legal action to people that are leaving and saying this is wrong, or somebody pointing out something, you're like, no, I don't want to purchase your products because I'm afraid of being sued. People are too afraid to purchase SCENTSY because they're afraid they're going to be sued by your company. And you've just underlined that, punctuated it, emphasized it with this, that you think this is a show of strength, and you've just sabotaged your business. It's good. SCENTSY's going to go down even harder, I think, than they anticipated.
Defamation's a huge thing. And
oh, yes. We all know about defamation. That's what these commercial cults love to parade around, the defamation. Yeah.
half the things spewed are not true. And they're trying to toxify your minds. Get out of those groups. Someone said on there, you are who you surround yourselves with. And so, again, I am pumped.
Thank God you've surrounded yourself with these leaders at SCENTSY. You're in good hands with them.
We have 116 people. That's a record amount. I don't know if we just need to keep doing these gift cards. We've done it since January. If that's enticing you to get on. But
if you purchase something from SCENTSY, you could and sign up with SCENTSY and anything goes wrong, you have a very high probability of somebody in the pyramid scheme threatening to sue you for defamation. They're going to use SCENTSY and like this vague reference that their legal team is going to come after you. This is what you thought. This is what doesn't happen when you purchase something from Amazon. You can just make an order with Amazon. You could return it. You could leave a negative review. Nothing happens. You don't have participants at Costco threatening to sue you. This is a commercial cult. This is the behavior. This is what goes on in these cults. This is the behavior that it manifests. This is the behavior that is needed. It's cultivated. It grows. And you'll see it at the top of these pyramid schemes in just the best examples of it. The narcissism. Wow.
I am pumped to see, I mean, like Karen and Denise and Terry and I mean, just Jatra. I'm probably saying her name completely jacked up. Jatra. It's just, she said, no, I'm not. Okay, good. It's so cool.
I wonder if they're going to try to get this video taken down from you. This might be another pissed off participant that tries to abuse YouTube's reporting system, their copyright system. Wouldn't surprise me. I kind of hope they do, so then I can use that as content when YouTube sides with me. I hope that happens.
Cool. I mean, we've got Denise Meters over there. She's got like confetti flying up in front of her face. Like, this is so cool. Like I'm so thankful that you guys see.
This is so toxic. Wow.
I keep saying fruitful. I need to think of another word. See a meaning into showing up. And I always say, if you show up, you go up. So if you show up every Monday with us, and a lot of Mondays, we do a lot more training. We have a lot more, ideas and things like that. This is more of an informational
yeah.
mindset.
Here we go. Now there's a kid in the screen. I'm going to have to remove that. Of course, now we've got the children showing up.
Monday. We're going to upload it to YouTube. I would love it if you shared it with your team, share it with your downline. If you have downline who are worried about the future of SCENTSY or the changes, share this with them. Let them get all the information behind the scenes. Again, these are healthy, positive changes.
Let them have all the information, but only the information that I'm telling you, not all the information. Only a small part, only the information that we tell you.
Oh, I meant to say this a while ago when Patty was talking, and I think she mentioned it, but companies that don't change, be very leery, because there's no healthy company that has been around for 17 years that hasn't made changes. All right. And if they did, they probably
Have they been around since 17 years? Because if they have, then she got in at the beginning of this scam.
gone under. I'll give you one example. One company that just shut their doors this last 6 months. Orville and Heidi know the owners, and they could have made changes.
Do you know the name of the company, or is this just another mysterious example pulled out of thin air? It's just a story. It's story time now, children.
That I wouldn't say prevented them from shutting down, but a good company is always forward thinking. That's why SCENTSY's making these changes now while we're not in the red, right? We're still a profitable company. And a lot of these companies that shut their doors, they didn't make changes early enough on.
Remember this, everyone in SCENTSY that still is in there and hanging on for dear life and wanting to believe. Remember this. Remember this when you get recruited into the next multi-level marketing company and you think that you have found this incredible group and that it's not as toxic, it's not as mean girl and all that. Remember this. And you are going to see it happen again and again and again. It does not matter what MLM you're in. They are all the same. MLM is fraud.
And they ran their business when sales weren't near as high, but they ran it the same. And so just know that you are a part of a company with extremely smart owners that know what they're
Trust Orville's brain. Hashtag trust Orville's brain. Hashtag lobster wave.
doing. Orville is extremely forward thinking.
He invented popcorn.
And I truly hope and pray that all of you guys see that, feel that, and you guys, again, don't quit because of these slight changes that are only making us better. And that you're around and we can say, oh my goodness, Sherry, remember when we were around when they changed from 200 to 250? Oh my goodness, that was like 10 years ago.
Wow, remember when we got in at the beginning of Make Wellness and we had the founders box? Remember? It was so amazing. Nobody's going to remember it. This is just another strategy to try to keep you in. Oh, this is so brutal. It's almost over. We're almost there. We got about 10 minutes to go, 9 minutes to go.
I can't believe, look at where we're at now. That's going to happen because SCENTSY's going to be around for years and years to come. So I guess I'm a lifer. I love it. Never be a quitter.
I'm a lifer. Monate lifer. You're a lifer. You know that term? It's like for being in prison, right? It's not a flex. It's another sign that people use in a commercial cult. It's another indicator.
Go getter. I love it. I love that. I love that. I love that. All right. So we are going to draw 2 names. Oh, Delinda, before we do that, yes, we are going to be, I think this could be a whole Mindset Monday call, but corporate did say there are 4 areas that we are going to concentrate as a whole on. And I think we probably need a whole mindset on this because I could go on and on and on and on. So why don't you stay tuned? I know next week we have something planned, but maybe we'll insert this instead. But there are 4 areas that SCENTSY showed us on a graph where we are kind of failing as a company and need to get better. That's the sweetest, harshest way I can say it. And next week is leadership. So how about February?
There will be people that watch this video and watch like other anti-MLM content, and they'll be so outraged at criticism. They'll say, I don't like how you're speaking about this fraud. They will be outraged that people can be predators, can lie, can manipulate, can abuse. They won't be outraged at that. They won't be outraged at the abusers and the predators, but they'll be outraged at somebody pointing out exactly how they're being defrauded. It's so messed up. And I mean, it kind of happens out there anyway, not just with multi-level marketing, but with MLM, it's just taken to another level, you know? People will be more upset with the way somebody is pointing out how they're being scammed than they will be with the scammer themselves. It's the ultimate con. And then you got to make sense of that when you exit. Why am I so upset about the person or the people that are pointing out that I'm in a scam? They're actually looking out for me. They actually care about me. They're not asking me to do anything or give them any money. Why am I not looking at the source of my woes? The person that has been taking so much money from me, belittling people, gaslighting me and teammates, trying to control my behavior. Why am I not looking at them? Why am I not outraged at them? It's because you're in a cult and you're starting to deprogram and wake up. That's why. You'll get there.
February 3rd. I'll have to look and see. We probably have something planned, but I promise you in February, we're going to concentrate on every 4 of these areas, because it's areas, you guys, if we can master as a group, we can create a movement within SCENTSY and really change the trajectory of these areas that SCENTSY wants to see change in. So, Delinda, I'm so glad you brought that up. We'll do a whole mindset on that, because I think that we probably need to really coach on each, and we'll probably.
I've just put it up to 1.5 speed now. I'm like, I can't wait to be done with this video. Oh, yeah.
Probably assign you one of the topics on it. She's like, oh, great. Thanks for volunteering me. All right. So Amy, it's 8:39. We kept you over 30, but I hope it's been okay. Will you read us the 2 names that you did on random.org?
Yep.
Nobody can say it hasn't been okay that you've gone over time, because they'll probably be insulted and that they're sabotaging their business. So people are going to win a prize. I guess that's what they had to do.
I drew 2 names as everybody was talking. The first is Melissa. That's all I have. It says Melissa. This is how you know that I'm being honest. There's no last name and no picture. If you're Melissa, can you put your email in the comments? Yay, Melissa. If not, we can go to somebody else, but I'm sure you're here. I'm sure you're listening. Melissa, put your email in the comments.
I put it down to 1.25. It was a bit fast.
And then Julie Omnet. Is that how you say it, Ju?
Can you imagine if I was in there? I got a free thing.
Congrats. Put your email in the comments so we can send you an Amazon gift card.
Yes. And we'll get you that. I will send you that. She said, oh my, that's exciting. All right, let's see if Melissa. Oh, Melissa, did I see an email?
I didn't see an email. I just saw an oh my.
Okay, I saw the oh my. Melissa's probably on her phone like, oh my gosh, how do I get to my comment on my bed? We'll give you just a minute longer. Oops, that was for everyone. Let's see. Just
Canadian should be fine. You got it written down, Jacqueline. And Melissa, put your email in the comments. Otherwise, we might have to pick somebody else, right?
Yeah, because I want to pick 2 winners for sure. So we'll give Melissa another minute, and then we'll.
I'm trying to put my email in the comments, and it's
Melissa.
Oh, she's in there. She's trying so hard to put her email in. They're gonna like gaslight her here. Poor Melissa.
What's your last name?
fair. I put my email in the comments, but it's saying it's sending it as a private message.
Oh, did you try? I don't see it in mine. Okay, what's your email? Okay, at Yahoo. Okay.
I was like cleaning my kitchen listening to you guys. I'm like, did she just say my name?
We did. Congratulations. That's so exciting.
I know this. And I want to tell you something. This is the first time I've came to Mindset Monday.
Well, I hope we didn't scare you off. Are you?
You did not. You did not. So I joined SCENTSY. It'll be 13 years on February 28th. And I have left and came back. And so my journey has been a roller coaster. And, you know, this was something that I just joined to get a discount. But now I'm like, you know what? I'm seeing a lot. I was listening to you about that group, and I know which group you're talking about. And there's a lot of negativity going on in there. And I tried to post something about my SCENTSY journey and then about some positivity. And it literally has sat there for a week not being approved to post.
Yeah, it
might be because you're acting like a cult apologist. And that's the thing, when people are coming forward and they're being vulnerable and they finally have a safe space to speak honestly, having someone come in and being like, toxic positivity, like this person has been in and out for 13 years. And now they're in. Look at this. These cults do this to people. This is what happens when you don't deprogram. They always have the best stuff at the end, you know? Oh my God. So this poor person. So I left so people will be shocked in multi-level marketing when I don't even read their comments and they write this whole big link. I just delete it. Sometimes I take screenshots of it and then I post it on Instagram stories and I put it to music and I'll be like, here's another brainwashed participant. Look at what they're saying. Look at how they're defending the pyramid scheme. Look at how insulting they are. I just don't have any tolerance for it. I have zero tolerance for cult apologists because when you're in MLM, you're very entitled. You think that you are owed the world, that you should have the right to say, I never experienced abuse, therefore it doesn't exist. Let me elbow my way in to a group of survivors and ignore all of them and demand that they listen to me that has had a positive experience. The entitlement is through the roof, but they're also brainwashed. So trying to get through to people is very, very tricky. So this person trying to now like, look at, I've been in and out. I went into this group. I tried to say something positive and they won't approve my post. Well, are all these people allowed to post in your fucking groups? I don't think so. I think that's why they had to start their own Facebook group. It's funny how that works, isn't it? You can't even make this shit up. So this is brutal. So they've got her and they've like wooed her back in. Man, I hope this person wakes up.
The girl that's running it is a complete anti-MLM. So she will do anything to not have anything positive.
I was like, this is crazy because I've seen other people's stuff getting posted, but mine's just sitting there and I'm like, whatever.
Oh, and maybe you should play the world's smallest fucking violin. Maybe you shouldn't take it personally. Maybe you should just get offline and start working your business. You shouldn't even be in this group anyway. Why are you in there? This person is so anti-MLM. They're like anti-human trafficking. They're anti-abuse. They're anti-fraud. Be very careful with what you're saying here. This shit will come back to bite you on the ass in the years to come. You'll have to heal from it, like we all do. Somebody has had the courage to start this group. And they're guarding from predators trying to infiltrate it and swallow them back up with the cult. It's like a wolf in sheep's clothing again, but it's easy to spot. It's like, you're not welcome here. This is no longer a space for you because your behavior is that of a predator and you're also playing the victim. So if this group is so toxic, why in the fuck are you trying to post in there? Why are you even in there? Unless you're experiencing cognitive dissonance and you're trying to work through some stuff. If you have nothing to contribute to help empathize and support people, then get the fuck out. You're not welcome. It's like what I do in you're not fucking welcome here. I just delete your comments. It's easy. I've got boundaries. And apparently these people do too, so good for them.
I'm out of here.
Well, you know what?
And I always like either have to work or I forget. So today I seen my upline posted about this, and I said I'm setting an alarm on my phone, and I'm going to do the thing. So I'm glad I came. But so okay, so I guess so when I go to chat,
This would be.
it says
you have to change it to everyone.
It says it's sending as a private message to Denise.
Yeah, you have to go scroll to the top and click on everyone in meeting.
Oh my God.
Okay, hang on.
So in the blue, type in 2 and click on everyone next to that.
Okay, let's try this. That way we can make sure.
I love it. I see someone else saying, Angel saying this is her first time to go to World Tour. I see it now, Melissa, you did it.
Yay!
I am so glad you joined us. I hope you'll start joining us every Monday. I have a little recurring. I hope you guys will do.
Why would you have to join this mindset call every Monday? Do you think this is going to help people grow their business? Or do you think this is just going to keep people in longer? Creating this camaraderie, these bonds, these fake bonds, which are transactional. Do you think it's us versus them? Do you think there's any nuance here, or do you think it's all black and white? Do you think there's any accountability? Do you think there's ever been accountability with any of these leaders? Or it's always somebody else's fault? Goes on, and the band marches on.
do this tonight. I have a recurring alarm. Well, I have to, I run it, so I have to be on. But I hope you guys will set a recurring alarm for every Monday. Remember, the last Monday is not Mindset Monday. So the first 3 Mondays are Mindset Monday. So I hope that you'll get in the habit of joining us every Monday. We've had corporate on here. We've had Orville and Heidi on here, and we've had Joan A from corporate. We've had Jason Harwood. I promise you,
All these no names. Nobody cares. Like, who are they? Is this supposed to impress somebody? It's only people in the small, tiny, infinitesimally small world of SCENTSY. Orville and Heidi and Upchuck. Is Dan? You haven't said Dan. What's going on with Dan?
me and Amy and Aaron and all of us, we will bring you guys some of the best speakers from all over the US and the world.
Wow, the best. Are you going to bring in Daniel G, or are you going to bring in Eric Warre? The best speakers from the US. Daniel G is currently occupied with Monet. He doesn't like to wear socks on his presentations. He's got a vein that pumps out of his neck and he just fucking yells at women. It's supposed to be amazing training. And then you've got Eric Warre, maybe Bob Heilig. He's good with the emotional and the religious manipulation too. He's good at that. Who's a great speaker? There's not very many of them. They're all the greatest. What SCENTSY's going to be getting the bottom of the barrel? They don't have very much money. They're taking like the $2 or $5 of commissions from their participants. They're just taking like $2 here, $2 there just to pay the electricity, and they got to shut down a warehouse. And they're going to bring the greatest speakers are from the US. Sure. Oh God, you can't make this up.
If you will just get on with us for 30 minutes every Monday. So I'm so proud of you guys. I see a lot of people who are on for the first time tonight, and it makes me really, 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 really proud of you. So if you're not on our Facebook page, I think Amy just posted it. Alarm set, Mary, I love it. We have a Facebook page called Mindset Monday. I'm going to show you what it looks like. I want you guys to go on there and request to join if you're not. This is what it looks like. All right. We don't allow anyone to post. You can comment on the videos. It's not a group page. It's not a team page. It is a resource page. Every Monday after this call, I'll upload the YouTube recording that you can steal and go share on your team pages. Any documents we talk about, it'll be posted on there. You guys can comment on anything you want. You just can't post. It's not a team page. It's a resource page. So every Monday, we also tag at everyone and remind you of these calls with a topic. So I hope it's also a good reminder. But thank you again for getting on tonight. I am Amy, all of us, Delinda, Patty, Terry, Karen, everyone. We wouldn't be where we're at if we weren't surrounded by incredible people like you guys and an incredible team and group. So I don't mean that cheesy at all. I truly, 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 truly mean that. So thank you for getting on. Thank you for taking time out of away from your family to get on, and away from the national championship game if you're into that kind of thing, because that's on right now. But I love you guys. I'm gonna get this recorded and upload it up to YouTube and posting on our Mindset page. And I really, really hope we get to see you on February 3rd. That is the next Mindset Monday. So hope you guys have a great rest of your week, and I hope you stay warm. And thanks. You're welcome. We'll see you.
Melissa, get out. You can do it. We believe in you. You are trapped in a commercial cult. We believe in you. You can get out. All right. Okay, that was that one. Holy crap, I can see why those people, those couple of people have sent it to me. That was a doozy. This is one of those ones too. Sometimes I'm making a video and I'm like, I think I might just delete this and then just go have a bath. Look, I want everybody in this company to get out. I want these superstar directors, the directors. I would like you to stop scamming people. I would like you to take accountability. I would like you to get out of this. This is not a business model, and this, in fact, isn't your business. They can terminate you at any time. I want you to stop hurting people. It's not going to happen overnight. I do want to see all these people get out. I also know that there's degrees of awareness where there will be people that have been in and out of SCENTSY, like the person at the end, and there's people that they know exactly what's going on, and they have no problem continuing to recruit, and they need to hurt people in order to keep their business going. Imagine if you had an Etsy shop and you're selling things and you had to do this kind of behavior to run your business. Can you imagine any business that's like this? That you have to attend this Mindset Monday. This had nothing to do with mindset training. This was damage control on a flawed business, quote, model, end quote, because it's not a model. It's just fraud. MLMs are pyramid schemes. I opened up this video like referring to the Koscot pyramid scheme test and also Canada's Competition Act section 55.1. You don't have to like someone to take in the information that they're giving you. You don't have to like someone when they're pointing out that the house you're in is burning. You don't have to like the way they say the house is burning. The information they're giving you is that the house is burning, and it's up to you if you're actually going to take it and get out before you get hurt anymore. To all SCENTSY participants who are finding their voices and you're speaking out. You're saying things that you want to say. You're starting to realize that there's things that you want to say that aren't you. That things like, I don't want to speak out because I don't want to bash the industry. And you see that people in Mon8 say that. You see people in Arbonne say that. You're like, wait a second, why am I using this terminology? I never spoke like this before. Why is it off limits to point out abuse and fraud and it's labeled bad? Don't call that abuse. That's, you're being bad. You're bashing something. It takes time to just jettison that and to really come back to who you are. You're there. You've been there the whole time. The cult has to work so hard to keep you away from yourself. This is why you need to tune into all these calls, this Mindset Monday, where they have to just pour it on so thick. They've got to bribe people. Like, we're going to give you a gift card. We're going to insult anybody that's left. We're going to, don't think, trust Orville. It's ridiculous how much time is spent away from your families, which they say it's always out in the open. All to what? Sell more wax melts and warmers. It's just nuts. That is what I have for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for your comments. Each time you leave a comment, it is helping somebody else start to deprogram and exit a commercial cult. Thank you so much for all of your comments. I'll see you in the next video.